Is it safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra now? Let's talk about it. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RamBox FST. So the big question, is it safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra now? And what do I mean by that? Well, there are 5 points I think to consider when you're kind of trying to figure out if now is the right time. Is it safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra? So let's jump right into it. But before we do, if you're new or you haven't, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So let's take a look. Number one, pricing. Has pricing stabilized? Are you still going to pay a premium when it comes to the new 2022 redesigned Toyota Tundra? And the answer is probably. It depends. Now, what does it depend on? It kind of depends on your dealership. You know, I know there are some dealerships out there that are selling the trucks at MSRP. Is that a great deal? Well, not just a year or two ago, it wasn't a great deal. If you bought a new truck, a new Tundra at MSRP, you weren't getting as good of a deal as you could have. But these days, that's about the only deal you can get. Now, there are still other dealers that are charging premiums for these trucks. Market adjustments. So is now really a good time to buy a new 2022 Toyota Tundra? If you're looking at just pricing, I would say not. Best off to wait until things stabilize a little bit, or maybe find a dealer that's selling at MSRP if you can stomach that. Number two, availability. While they are showing up a little more frequently, you know, recently I checked out my local dealer and they had 4 of them in stock. 4 of them. Now that's 4 times more than they had just a couple months ago. So they are showing up a little bit, but the problem is are you going to be able to get what you want? Your choices obviously are going to be limited. You're going to have to take what they have in stock if you want one. Now, you might be wondering about allocations, because that seems to be one of the most popular ways to buy any new truck right now. And of course, you can go in and put a deposit down and snag one that's been allocated to the dealership by the factory, but just hasn't arrived yet. Again, the problem is, are you going to be able to get what you want? You're still going to have to pick from what they already have coming in. So from an availability standpoint, if you're picky, I would say no. Now is not the best time. It's not safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra. Number 3, the bugs. I don't mean the little ones that run around. I mean the problems that some of the new Tundras have had. The wastegate, the turbo issue, some problems with the radio system. I've heard of seats falling down by themselves, seats that have to have the belts connected in the back, or you get to listen to a warning chime the whole time you're driving. But I do believe that Toyota now has at least a plan or a way to go ahead and fix those issues. There's been enough time. I'm sure they've thrown a lot of effort at this because it is a brand new remodeled truck. It's not something that they're going to want to let drag on. They needed to get it fixed right away. And I do have faith in Toyota that they've been able to do that. So it kind of depends. Again, do you want to spend time in the shop? What's your tolerance for buying a new truck that might have problems? If you don't have much tolerance and you don't want to spend the time in the shop, then right now it's probably not safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra. Now, number 4, parts availability. This is kind of tied to the bug part that I mentioned earlier. You know, even if they figured out what's wrong with the trucks, they still have to have the parts to be able to fix the problems that they're having. I've heard from a couple of owners, people who have bought the new Toyota Tundra, and that they have had some issues with it, and the dealership had to order parts. But the problem is there aren't any parts available. And it seems that Toyota is being very stingy with these new parts. They want to put them in the new trucks because obviously they want to get these trucks sold and get them out into the market. They don't want to be pulling parts from production to fix your truck. So you could have a wait time, even though they may know what the fix is, even though it may be something simple, maybe not a big deal. I've heard upwards of 1 to 3 months waiting for replacement parts. So again, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to deal with that? Do you care if you're going to have that truck sidelined for 1 to 3 months, still making payments on it potentially, while waiting for new parts? Number 5, and this is really more specific, kind of depends on what you do with the truck, and that is mods. You know, when a new redesigned truck comes out, there aren't a lot of aftermarket parts available. So if you're into modding, or maybe you have a YouTube channel, I know there's some YouTubers out there watching. Maybe you have a YouTube channel and the idea was to buy this new 2022 Toyota Tundra and then start doing things to it for your channel. But you're not going to be able to do that because the aftermarketers need time to catch up. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to do some of the simple things. You know, maybe stick a decal on it. Certainly you could lift it, put different wheels and tires, but that's kind of where it ends. There aren't a lot of other things out there available yet. And how do I know that? I know that because I've been in that situation myself. You know, I looked around when I was thinking about getting the new Tundra, when I was very disappointed after I went and actually saw one in person and drove it. And there just wasn't anything out there. So for someone like me who does this professionally, I hope it's professional, full time, what would I do with the truck? I mean, I could drive it around, I could talk about it, but after a while, I like to get my hands dirty. I like to be hands-on and do things. I do that not only for you guys, if I'm being honest, I do it because I enjoy doing it. You know, making a talking video 18 times about one truck kind of gets a little bit monotonous. So you've got to ask, do you really care? Do I really care about not being able to mod the truck because there's nothing available? If the answer to that is yes, you do care, then chances are it's not safe to buy a 2022 Toyota Tundra. Not right now. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Did any of these things matter to you, or you wanted that new Tundra so badly that it was safe to get one for you no matter what? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.